Now, some of y'all looking at me crazy. Well, Pastor JP, guess what? That was cute. My grandmother didn't grow up in church. My grandmother wasn't a person of faith. So what about me? What do I do? So maybe saying to themselves, well, if you knew my mother, she wasn't nowhere near Jesus. That's the name we yelled. We didn't call him when something went wrong. So someone's here today and you're saying to yourself, I know Pastor JP, that was cool, but I don't know nothing about that faith, generational faith. So do you have a word for me? Because my grandma wasn't a believer and my mother wasn't a believer, so what do you have to say about me? First thing I have to say to you is neither was mine. Let that sink in for a minute. First thing I have to say to you is we're on the same team, we're on the same page. My mother I didn't grow up in church. In fact, in my household, I was the first person to go to church. So you ask yourself, well, Pastor JP, what do I do? Well, the first thing you can do is allow them to see the light of God shining in you. And when they see the light shining in you, they may say something is different. I raised this child. I raised this person. But something is different, and allow them to see the faith that is in you to inspire them so then they could be empowered. Because when I was the first person to go to church, we didn't grow up in church. We didn't do nothing churchy. Just keeping it real. Keeping it real. But God used me. God used me. In fact, I baptized my mom. My mother came to 11:45 service one day, and she was sitting right over here in this section, over here somewhere. And 11:45 came down to give her life to Christ, to surrender to Jesus Christ. So, Pastor JP, we have to say, I say, you be the light that shines, so that you can declare that when it comes to my generation, I'm going to be the one that changes it. See, there's a difference. My grandma wasn't a person of faith. My mother wasn't a person of faith. Cool. Why don't you be the person that changes that in your generation, so that your generation then can be a generation of faith? You grow up in the things of God, and then you grow up your child in the things of God and allow the power of God to move in and through your family. Mama didn't know Christ. She knew him, she would have raised me that way. She didn't know him. But you can be the person who God uses to change a whole generation. In fact, I made a declaration. And you know, you go through marriage counseling and all that. Carmen and I did that. But I made a decision that whatever baggage our family carried had to stop with us. You've got to make a decision. All the skeletons, all the ghosts, all of that, it has to stop with me, because I'm going to break and bind every generational curse, alcoholism, whatever it may be, whatever drugs, whatever it is, it has to stop with me. And we're going to show the rest of the family what the glory of God and the power of God looks like. Is anybody in here today willing to say, I'm going to declare it's going to stop with me? You got to make a decision.